Fear not, my friends. The latest wave of leftist censorship across social media will only increase the rise in right-wing populism. In this video, we're going to take a look at some of the victims in big tech's latest round of cancel culture, and we're going to find why it is ultimately all for naught. The internet is guaranteeing that voices will be heard, and they're more conservative than ever. You're not going to want to miss this. Greetings, everyone. Dr. Steve here with you. I certainly hope you're all doing well. Look forward to this time with you each and every day. If this is your first time with us and you're looking for some daily encouragement and optimism in the midst of all the nonsense that we hear or see spewed from the left-wing Marxist media, you've found your oasis in this channel. We analyze current events, analyze some super awesome conservative trends so you can live in the present in light of even better things to come. So if you haven't already done so, you know what to do. Make sure to smack that subscribe button. It'll be an absolute privilege to have you as a regular part of this channel, where together we celebrate, yes, the inevitable collapse of left-wing globalism and the unstoppable rise of a new conservative age. Also, I am excited to announce, actually, we've got a few exciting announcements this week. You thought I forgot, didn't you? But I'll get into that more. I'm excited to announce that we have a new site on Parler, the Twitter-like alternative platform, which I want to encourage you to join. You do have to join Parler first, and then please subscribe and follow my channel there. I'll provide a link down below for you. With all of this crazy deplatforming ways that we've been seeing of late, we need to have alternative ways of staying in touch with each other, and Parler is a great free speech alt-tech site. We already have over 5,000 followers, and I only have a couple of posts that we just started this weekend, so it's really exciting. So make sure to join us over at Parler right now before you do anything else. Also, make sure to click on the link below and head on over to my special website for My Patriot Food Supply. As we saw with this whole pandemic insanity, we cannot wait for an emergency to happen before we respond to one. And no one makes preparing for an emergency more ridiculously easy and affordable than My Patriot Supply. And they are simply the best. Their food kits last up to 25 years in storage, and they include breakfast, lunches, and dinners. And best of all, they have a guarantee policy that will knock your socks off. And if you act right now, you can save $100 off a full 4-week emergency food supply when you click on the link below to my special website. You heard that right, $100 off. So do not wait. I've got my food supply. Make sure that you get yours. Click on that link below or go to preparewithsteve.com and save $100 off your very own 4-week emergency food supply today. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. I'm sure you're all well aware by now of the latest wave of censorship that swept across social media yesterday. Among the victims were, of course, President Trump, his Twitch account that supposedly violated Twitch's hate speech policy. Trump was suspended for his supposed hateful conduct, as I understand it. In addition, the philosopher Stefan Molyneux's channel on YouTube has been banned, along with a number of others. It was a pretty obvious round of purging from these big tech social media platforms. Now, of course, the left is cheering this move, which proves once again that there's nothing liberal about the modern left. Even HBO's Bill Maher is admitting this. Many liberals are admitting this. There's nothing liberal about the modern day left, the cancel culture left. The moment liberals attempt to silence and sequester and dictate which ideas are allowed and which are not, whatever terms you want to use to excuse that, they are not liberals anymore. They have become tyrants. They are totalitarian in their tendencies. And so the only way leftist liberals can win the online culture wars is if they stop being liberals. With every call to ban and censor, more and more people are realizing that liberals are emphatically not liberal. There's an inherent contradiction. There's nothing liberal about the modern day left. But regardless, what sense are we going to make of this latest purge? We have a Trump administration that has done a lot of talking and about taking action here against big tech censors who enjoy a litigation immunity granted to them by Section 230 of the SEC that gives big tech the kind of immunity that utility companies get, like phone companies. So social media right now is largely treated legally as utilities. Big tech has been legally recognized as our modern public forum. We communicate publicly through these platforms. And as such, these platforms are granted immunity by the federal government from being sued if someone uses these platforms in an unethical manner. So just like the phone company, they can't be sued if someone was using the phone to arrange, God forbid, a terrorist act. And that's because the phone company is a legally recognized utility, which is no more responsible for how people use their services than is, say, the electric company. Well, big tech has been legally granted this immunity, and yet they have arrogated to themselves playing moral policeman and banning certain voices and opinions, including our president's, while allowing for others. So imagine that AT&T, one of our major phone companies, imagine AT&T listened in on your phone conversations and they didn't like your political views. So they decided they were going to terminate your account because they didn't like what you had to say. Well, that's in effect what big tech is doing here. That's what Facebook, Twitter have been doing. It's what unfortunately YouTube did the other day. They're acting like editorial publishers who are responsible for the content they publish, even though they have been granted immunity from what they publish. So we've heard, and I stress again, we've heard that the feds are going to take action against this radical inconsistency, and yet we have yet to see a single tangible explicit action by the Trump administration on this issue. And I'm frankly not going to be carrying water for them anymore on this issue. Either the Justice Department is going to do something about this, or it isn't, and we are on our own. And it looks more and more like we are on our own, right? Sound familiar? Our feckless Republican leadership has to be the single most disappointing group of cowards anyone has ever set eyes on. So if the government isn't going to do anything, what sense then should we be making of all this? Well, fortunately, we have several dynamics operative here that spell some very, very good news for conservatives. First and foremost, I think it's imperative for us to understand that in the age in which we're living, you simply can't deplatform people anymore. Now, you could have done that when the media was reduced to basically 3 channels on TV and a dozen national newspapers, right? You most certainly could deplatform and silence voices back then. But those days are over. Scholars have noticed that from a tactical vantage point, bottom line, you cannot ban people anymore. Alex Jones has proven that. You can't ban people, you can't ban books, you can't ban ideas. And this is simply because we're living in the midst of what scholars call a network society. And a network society is the name that's being given to a new social order that's arisen in the past couple of decades that in effect bypasses the old bureaucratic institutional structures that used to serve as the mediators of communication, and it replaces them with a mass network of immediate digital information. The example I like to give, the illustration I like to give, is the post office and how it's been largely replaced with email. So here in the United States, we generally refer to the post office mail as snail mail, right? It's so slow. We still use it, but nowhere near as much as we used to. And this is, of course, because of the rise of email and Skype and text messaging, all of which allow us to bypass the old bureaucratic delivery systems. And so scholars of a network society, these are people like Manuel Castells or Jan van Dijk, they basically envisioned a world made up of a future direct democracy utopia that comes from this immediate, instantaneous digital interaction on the internet. And so these scholars were really excited about the social and global possibilities of a network society. They envisioned, a new world order of direct democracy and globalist-inspired human rights as we're all bound together through these digital, instantaneous telecommunications technologies and the like. But what they did not envision was that such a network system would actually become a platform dominated by the nationalist, populist, and traditionalist right. They certainly did not see that coming. But of course, that is precisely what happened. The scholarship of Angela Nagel and others have detailed how the nationalist populist right has actually dominated formats such as the message board site 4chan, of course, YouTube. Even the New York Times has featured a report on what they're calling the intellectual dark web, where they see a collection of anti-establishment intellectuals such as Jordan Peterson, Sam Harris, Ben Shapiro, Joe Rogan, Dave Rubin, who are getting subscribers and view totals that overwhelmingly outnumber anything the mainstream media is getting on a regular basis. So for example, name another university professor that even comes close to getting Jordan Peterson's views on YouTube. I mean, it's not even a contest. But here's the important point. This network society is in many respects the driving force behind this nationalist populist resurgence. And here's the key. It's driving this populist surge on a worldwide level. A world of nationalist populist sentiments is being united together on multiple interconnected social media platforms that are sharing information and commentary instantaneously and in effect bypassing the monopolies either of the mainstream media or with the rise of alt tech bypassing the monopoly of big tech companies. So what all of this means is that you just can't ban people anymore. You really can't deplatform them. You could deplatform them from your big tech platforms, but that only precisely plays into the critique of the populist right, that globalism is inherently tyrannical, right? That globalism governs in accordance with what's advantageous for globalist elites and not in accordance with what's advantageous for citizens or for the culture or for the nation as a whole. So they'll take an account with, YouTube is taking account with like millions of subscribers and then just in an instant pull it, make it disappear. And so all they end up doing is validating the very claims that conservative nationalist populists are making. Big tech is verifying the notion that corporatist globalist elites are in fact attempting to protect their monopoly of power by silencing conservative populist voices. And so as a consequence, big tech is making more believers in the nationalist populist vision of life than they could ever imagine. So while it's no question that this whole censorship wave is very, very discouraging, no question, while left-wing woke cancel culture is perhaps the most odious and vile thing going on in our nation today, rest assured, it's all for naught. The network society has rendered cancel culture irrelevant. Our voices will be heard, and there is nothing, absolutely nothing they can do to stop it. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video. I just uploaded it on the implosion of the Seattle Autonomous Zone. Another person has been killed there. The mayor is being sued. And all signifies the left beginning to completely implode. You're going to absolutely love it. So make sure to click on the link, and I will see you over there. God bless.